Episode 3. What is up? As you can see, I've already pulled off all the swivel hub and all that good fun stuff. Axles are out. So this is going to be the nice fun project of tackling those. A few things have happened since last episode. I've done some stuff off camera. Got the engine where I wanted it. So I've tacked it all on, all the parts on, pulled the engine out. Yeah, so we welded on the gearbox crossmember brackets that weld onto the chassis. Then same with the engine mounts. And yeah, so now I've pulled off the swivel hubs and I'm just checking out everything that's in there that is basically buggered because the car hasn't moved in a long time. So some more stuff I did off camera in between episodes. You may have seen this, which is a gearbox crossmember itself. Drilled all the holes out that line up with the brackets. Welded on the middle piece that holds the gearbox itself. And yeah, welded it all out, drilled all the holes, and see how she's looking. Pretty solid piece. My gearbox isn't gonna fall out, that's for sure. So before I go ahead and do the swivel hubs, I'm going to pull the diff center out, as I haven't seen what it looks like in there. Okay, so we got all 12mm nuts on the center diff center, so rip that off and yeah. That's the first time I've ever pulled a diff out, and that looks pretty cool. I don't know much about these, but looks pretty good to me. So the diff center was all good, so then I went and pulled all the old gasket off the center and cleaned it all up, so it would be a nice good mating surface to the housing, which I also cleaned up, and then put this JB Weld gasket on, as I bought a gasket for the rear and not for the front, so this is what it's getting. Then I smacked the center back in, and I was happy with that, as I've never done or pulled anything like that apart before, so I am fresh to it all. After that, I put all the 12mm bolts back on and torqued them up to 2 ugger duggers. So I think whoever previously owned this car, they must have pulled this swivel hub apart before and had a crack themselves. Like some bolts on the studs were like 12mm, some were 13mm. That side looks a lot better than this side, but I've also noticed on this side specifically, there's like this little groove here, so I'm tipping that's where the wheel sits when it's straight. I've been told you can get a bit of sandpaper and just try to just work it a bit. I'm not going to go too hard on it because I don't think it's going to cause too much issue, but I'll just see if I can help it a little bit, so yeah. Watching this back, editing it now, it looks like I do absolutely nothing with this sandpaper, but hey, leave a comment, roast me, but also tell me what I should have done if you got any better ideas. So I've got a lot of goodies to get this job done. So I've actually got new brake rotors as well, plenty of grease, manual locking hubs as well to go on the end. Also got new spindles because my other ones were absolutely dusted. Starting the job. Okay, so just before I start, I just want to show that this is my first time and this is just me raw, honestly doing it and trying to show how to do it at the same time, but also show my fuck ups. So enjoy. Is the inner axle seal. Alright, so I can hear that change noise, so I know it's home now. I'm going to change to a different size, a smaller size than the 55mm, and just hitting in a couple mil further just to take it off that wear point. Alright, now that that's in further, we're good to move on to the next part. So next up is the knuckle races, so top and bottom, just smack them on in. Okay, so now all the fun stuff. So it goes felt, the rubber, and then this little thing, pin thing, metal bit. And a little gap faces the top. Foot. So I greased up both bearings and pressed the top bearing onto the knuckle joint at the top. Then I set the knuckle joint on with the top bearing and then pulled the knuckle joint back and slid the bottom bearing on.
Yeah.
Right, now that the bearings are on, we can get this big sucker on. So this will hit up in that bearing. Sweet. So yeah, it's my first time, so I just watched the video again and put that on wrong. So the little brackets that go over the top of the felt, they're going to be on the bottom and the top, not side by side. So fix that now. This is probably the worst part of it all, the most dirty part. I got to pack all the grease into the back of this bad boy and then slide it on in. So let's do that. Alright, now that I've got all the grease off that, I'm going to try slide it in and keep it as horizontal as possible. There's a big groove, flat groove at the top. That's how it's in. There we go. Alright, now I'm just going to pack this whole area up with a shitload of grease, probably the rest of this tub. Well, I think that has plenty of grease in it. He says you don't want to put too much in because apparently it expands, and then when it expands it pushes through the seals, so that will do. That is like the whole tub anyway. He said to use the whole tub, but I used a little bit on that, on those bearings, but stuff all. So before this next part, you want to put some like drill bits or something that can hold the gasket and the next part. So I've just got some small drill bits here and they fit in mint. He wets up the gasket with some liquid gasket, so I'm going to do that too. But I also got some new spindles because mine ones were done. They were like, looks like someone's tried to take them off with a bloody axe. Don't know what that's hitting.
And just push that hard up against that new gasket.
Oh, the guy in the video also had a dust cover. I don't have a dust cover. I hope I don't need a dust cover, because if I do, that's gonna suck going on like this. Alright, so I finally have done something right for once after checking, and got to nip these bad boys up to 47 Newton meters. So looks nice and shiny with that on, but the next part, this part. So I've already put the rotors on these and torqued all that up. More racers in here, so he knocks out the racers out of this, but I've already done that, so I'm going to knock the racers into it. So now we take our wheel bearing grease, pack our bearing, and then smack the seal in. .54mm socket will go over this, and we actually are torquing this up to, I believe, 59 Newton meters, and then we back it back off again. So okay, so now we want to loosen it off. Now we slide the locking pins in over, and then the other nut. Okay, so after that locking pin washery thing's in there, and then the next nut, you want to torque the next nut up to 64 Newton meters, then we'll smash those little lugs over so nothing can come loose. Okay, so now that that's set, we'll grab a little flathead screwdriver and then we'll just knock one forward and knock one back. So I've hit this one forward and I pulled this one back. Alright, so I'm up to like the fun part for me anyway. So, because this is a 75 series gearbox and transfer case, so it's manual locking hubs on the 75, where an 80 series have full-time four-wheel drive. So I'm going to mount my manual locking hubs that I can just hop out and twist. So I'm going to just paint up this gasket and get it on. So I also got new bolts, washers and cone washers for the hub assembly, because my ones that I had on it, like I was saying earlier, like some were 12mm, some were 13, so get a new set and just make them all the same. So I obviously took way too long to finish this, as when I was putting the manual locking hubs on, my camera died, so I then just went ahead and did the job and got both sides done, as you can see here, and I'm putting the wheels back on. I only got 3 wheel nuts for each side at the moment, as it's obviously not driving or anything. But if you've made it this far to the video, thank you for watching. Leave a comment, as I love reading them all, and as always, roast me and like the video, and I'll see you on the next one.